My dog is barking. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're here for the first time. Now this video is very similar to one that Sarah Rose put out the other day, and I will leave a link to that in the description box. And it's where you look at your makeup collection and you look at the bits of makeup you own and you think, if I were to use these up or if I were to lose them, would I repurchase them? And I just thought that was a really interesting way to look at your makeup collection. Now I quite like trying new makeup, so for some categories of makeup I don't mind that there are pieces that I wouldn't repurchase, but I do quite like having in my collection some tried and trusted products that I know work for me and that I will continue to repurchase. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk through some products that I own. I'm not going to go through my entire makeup collection because that will take a really long time, but I'm going to talk you through some of my products and I will explain why I would repurchase them or why I wouldn't. So let's just get straight into it. Okay, I'm going to try to structure this video in terms of the order of products that you would put on when you do your makeup. So if we look at foundation then, and this is Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation, and this is a really reliable full coverage foundation. This lasts all day, it provides you with full coverage, but it doesn't look cakey. However, I wouldn't repurchase this, and it's not because the product doesn't work, I don't like the product, I do really like the product. But I'm just moving away from that fuller coverage, fully matte look. I like a little bit of luminosity in my makeup nowadays, and I prefer a lighter, more buildable foundation. So I wouldn't actually repurchase this. You might hear my dog barking, by the way, she's in the garden. So I wouldn't actually repurchase this because I'm not a massive fan anymore of that full coverage foundation. However, if you are and you are looking for a foundation that gives you that, I would go for this one. It is really good, but it's just not my personal taste anymore. So the type of foundation that I do like nowadays are more light to medium buildable foundations, or even BB creams. My dog is still barking. And the one that I really like is this Erborian BB Creme, and this is the BB cream, not the CC cream. I find that this BB cream provides you with a bit more coverage than the CC cream does. This makes your skin look like glass. It is such a beautiful finish on the skin. I think it looks absolutely lovely. It's buildable as well, so you can really control the amount of coverage that you're getting. However, the shade ranges with this BB cream are pretty rubbish. I think there's only 4, and I'm actually quite lucky. The nude shade suits me really well, but there is the possibility that if you wanted to try this, none of the shades would match you, so that is a definite negative. But how this looks on the skin is just absolutely beautiful, and I haven't worn it in a while, so I am quite tempted to put this in my next Shop My Stash. And I bought the trial size. This is 15 mils, and once this is finished I would repurchase this. I think it's really lovely. Okay, next moving on to concealers, and I want to talk about the Tarte Shape Tape that's in my current project pan. Now if you were to ask me a little while ago what my favourite concealer was, I probably would have said this concealer. However, I don't think I would repurchase this, and that kind of surprises me because I would have said this is my favourite concealer. Now I really like the coverage. It is quite a sort of medium to full coverage. However, it is a little bit drying. It is quite thick, and also if I open this up and show you, it's really messy around here. And it does get to the point that once I close this, the concealer liquid comes out, so I have to get a tissue and tidy it up, and then that means that I'm wasting product. I'm quite disappointed how messy this is. Now this isn't a cheap concealer, I think it's 20 something pounds, and I've got cheaper concealers. So the Revolution concealer that's in my current Shop My Stash, that product doesn't do this. I've just got it on my fingers as well. That product doesn't come out here. My Fenty one does a little bit, but this is just too much. For an expensive concealer, it shouldn't do that, so I'm quite disappointed by that, because I will end up using a tissue to remove it and then end up wasting product. So based on those reasons, I wouldn't actually repurchase this. However, I would purchase their ultra creamy version of this, which is brand new. I am intrigued to see how that compares to this. Apparently it gives you the same level of coverage, but it's just not as drying. So I wouldn't repurchase this one, but I would purchase their new version of it. Okay, moving on to blush now, and again it's another project pan item, and it is my Trinny Lip2Cheek in the shade VB. It's a lovely sort of a coral colour, and this was the shade that was matched to me. So when you go on Trinny's website, you can do a match to me. You put in your eye colour, your hair colour, and it comes up with a load of products that suit you, and VB was the one that suited me. Now when I first got this product, I was quite unimpressed with it. I didn't think it was that great. However, now that I'm using it a lot more because it's in my project pan, I've come to really like this blusher. I don't like it on my lips, it's a little bit too coral for my liking, but as a blush it is beautiful, and I've got it on today. I've not got too much on, so I don't know if you can really kind of see it. I prefer how it applies with a brush compared to my fingers, but I just think it's a really beautiful like pop of colour, and it blends in so nicely. I think cream blushes are really sort of having a moment at the moment. NARS have got some, ELF have got some, and this is a product that I would actually repurchase, and I didn't think it would be when I put it into my project pan, but like I say, now that I'm using this more and more, I really do like it, so I would repurchase it. Not necessarily in this colour, I think it is a good match to me, but there's another shade that is matched to me, and I would probably give that one a go next. They also have flush blushes as well, which is, like the name suggests, just a little bit of colour. So there are times when I'm wearing a red lipstick and I don't want coral on my cheeks, I don't want pink on my cheeks, but I want something, and I feel like the flush blush would be perfect for that. But really do like these Lip2Cheeks. Like I say, prefer it more as a blusher than a lip colour, but this is really lovely. This is one that has surprised me, so I would repurchase this one. Okay, moving on to highlighters. I do like wearing highlighters, and it is a product that I would wear most days when I do my makeup, but I like quite a subtle highlighter. I don't like a blinding strip of highlighter. I don't like anything too glittery. And I really like this number 7 custom blend highlighting drops that's in my current Shop My Stash. It's so flattering. It's just a little bit of shimmer, nothing glittery, nothing blinding. It's just soft and really flattering, and really easy to apply as well. Use your ring finger and you just gently pat it onto your cheekbone so you're not disturbing any makeup underneath. And I'm so impressed with it. I would definitely repurchase this. Okay, so let's move on to eye products then, and we'll start with eyeshadow primers. This is MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. This is in my current Shop My Stash. It's a cream product, and it's quite a dark nudie taupe colour. It's a little bit too dark for me, so this does make my eyeshadow looks start off quite dark. I think it's quite good at making my eyeshadow last for a long time, but this had a lot of hype around it and I just find it a little bit underwhelming. It's just okay. So based on that, I wouldn't repurchase it, or if I were to repurchase a paint pot, I'll see if there's a shade lighter than this. However, I don't think there is. I think this is the lightest shade, but I don't really get the hype. It's okay, it's not amazing. So based on that, I wouldn't repurchase it. But one I would repurchase is my trusty Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. I think this stuff is brilliant. It's a doe foot applicator. You can't see that. This stuff is brilliant. I have repurchased this many times in the past, and it lasts ages as well. It's a small tube. It's 10 mils, so you would look at that and think, oh, I'll get through that really quickly. I'll need to keep repurchasing that. I probably get through 2 or 3 of these per year. So although this is a kind of expensive product, it's not one that I'm having to repurchase month on month. You only need a little bit of this as well, and then you get your ring finger and just sort of pat it all over your eye, and my eyeshadow does not budge. This stuff is absolutely brilliant. I have slightly oily eyelids, so I do need an eyeshadow primer, and this is one that I can trust. I know this one will work for me, and that's why I've continued to repurchase it, and I will keep repurchasing it in the future. So eyeshadow palettes next then. So we'll start with one that I will repurchase, although it takes me ages to get through eyeshadows anyway, so I don't know if I ever actually will repurchase it, but if I did lose it, I would repurchase it. This is the Revolution Soph palette, and it's the original Revolution Soph palette. She does have 2, but I prefer the original one to the Extra Spice. And just look at those shades. This is a warm eyeshadow lover's dream. Just beautiful. I get so much inspiration when I open this palette. I look at it and I think, so many looks I can do. mixture of shimmer and matte shades, and we're starting off with your ivories. You've got some orange and reds, you've got green and blues, dark browns. I just think this is a beautiful palette. The quality is there as well. There's not much fallout, and I really don't like fallout. There's not much of that. They're really pigmented, they last all day, and I just think for £10 it's an absolute bargain. I really, sorry, I'm trying to get the paper thing back in the palette as I'm talking to you. I think it's really beautiful. I absolutely adore this palette. If I was to lose this palette, as it is my favourite palette in my collection, I would definitely go out and repurchase it. And like I say, it's £10, so it is a real bargain. It's not going to break the bank. Now, the next palette I want to talk about is the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. Now, this palette I kind of go back and forth on. I'm a little bit torn when it comes to this palette. Hugely pigmented. You only have to dip your brush in a little bit and you've got really pigmented eyeshadows. So this is going to last you for ages. So this wouldn't be something that I would repurchase based on that, because I don't ever see myself finishing this up. However, the things that I don't like about this palette is that it's so dark. We really need something here to break up the darkness, maybe a vibrant gold. But you have a few light shades here and then all of a sudden you're into red and burgundy territory. And I find as well that no matter what eyeshadow colours I use from this palette, they all end up looking the same. So I also think that I don't need this many colours if the looks I'm going to end up with all look the same. I just need maybe 1 or 2 or 3. So I don't think I would actually repurchase this because it's not one that I reach for that often. And like I say, the looks are all the same and it's very dark. Great quality though, like I say, really pigmented, and this palette is going to last you years and years. But I don't think I would repurchase this one, and I don't think I would really miss it as well, because I have very similar shades in this palette that are in my Soph palette, for example, my other Soph palette. So these are very dupeable shades. So this is one that I wouldn't repurchase. So moving on to eyeliner next. Now, I'm not a massive eyeliner fan, I don't really wear it that often, but the ones from Peaches and Cream are really beautiful. They're really affordable as well. I think they were £4.95. They are super pigmented, if I can show you there. This is the shade Nile. So really pigmented, really creamy, but they don't transfer. They last all day, and like I say, really affordable. I think these are such a brilliant eyeliner option, and although I'm not an eyeliner fan, I don't wear it that often, I would repurchase these because I trust these. I know that these work. They're absolutely brilliant. I'm so impressed with this brand. Okay, nearly there. Let's talk about mascaras next. So one mascara that I wouldn't repurchase is my bareMinerals Strength and Length. My mind has been changed a little bit on this mascara though. I started off really not liking it. I didn't like the wand. I still don't like the wand. However, I have gotten used to the wand. Now the wand is quite flat, and I like a round wand. I like to be able to roll the wand through my lashes, and you can't do that with this one. Now I've been using this one since January, and I have found that it has made my eyelashes longer. So the strength and length claim, in my opinion, it does work. However, this does smudge under my eyes. So throughout the day I will notice that mascara has smudged underneath. And for a mascara that's around sort of £20, it shouldn't be doing that. So I like how this makes my eyelashes look, but I don't like the cost, I don't like the wand, and I don't like the fact that it smudges. So based on that, I wouldn't repurchase this mascara. But one that I would repurchase though is from Collection, and this is the Lash Surge mascara. It's what I'm wearing today. And it makes your eyelashes look a little bit more clumpy compared to the bareMinerals Strength and Length. But this one doesn't smudge underneath my eyes. Now this is the original one, and I do prefer the waterproof one. I get more of a curl, and I have noticed with this eye, I've curled my lashes, but it has dropped a little bit, whereas the waterproof one wouldn't do that. But this is about £5. I really love how it makes my eyelashes look, and it doesn't transfer, so I would repurchase this one, albeit I would ideally go for the waterproof one ahead of this one, but that wasn't available when I bought this. but I just really like this product. I know that this one will work, and I have repurchased this a couple times in the past already. So this is the mascara that I know is going to work for me. Okay, and finishing up with lipsticks then, or lipstick, because I only have the one here. This is MAC Faux, and if you've heard me talk about this lipstick before on my channel, you will know straight away that this is one that I would repurchase. MAC lipsticks are beautiful, you get lots of different finishes. My favourite is the satin finish. It gives you that real pigmentation that is very similar to their matte formulation, but it's not drying. So you get hydration, you get pigmentation, you get durability. So that is why the satin one is my favourite formulation, and the faux shade is my absolute all-time favourite lipstick shade. I have repurchased this about 4 or 5 times in the past. I love it. I really do love it. It's one that I don't need a mirror to apply, so I can just whack this on during the day. It goes with lots of different makeup looks as well. It's really complimentary on me, I think. It's just a shade and a formulation that I trust, that I know is going to look nice, is going to last. Beautiful, beautiful lipstick. I love it so much. So there we go then, those are my makeup products, some that I would repurchase, some that I wouldn't. So I'm really interested to hear what your thoughts are. So if you've tried any of the products that I've mentioned in this video, please leave a comment down below and let me know if you agree with me, whether you would repurchase them or whether you wouldn't. Hope you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up if you did, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you again soon in my next video. Thank you for watching, bye bye.